Good afternoon from Europe. Good morning, good evening, guys, whatever you are. Piotr, here's Light Forex Global YouTube channel, September 20th, 2020, Sunday. And we are going to make crypto market update. Before we start, risk warning as usual. Guys, please bear in mind, trading on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investments, so please do not invest the money you can afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay, so what we have here, we start with the Bitcoin weekly chart. Well, I would say that the most important thing right now are the price action we've seen when we are talking about the short term, when we've seen two weeks ago, because that's what we have to try to decode. So let's place few lines on the chart, on this weekly chart. It's a weekly chart, so meaning that we are going to use the blue one, right? There you go. So why the line here? Why the line here where we have around this upper shadow on the weekly chart? Because of the breakdown of that 4 weeks ago low, right? So that's the first level of the possible supply, and we are not discovering America. Looks like unfortunately from the bull's perspective it's working. So we are talking about the levels close to 11,100 based on my chart. Now we also have to place some lines to the downside, all right, based on the weekly chart. Why here? Because it's the latest weakness we've seen when it comes to the weekly chart. I'm preparing separate educational video for you guys when it comes to latest weakness, latest strength, and how to take the advantage, especially from the intraday perspective. But here we have a higher time frame. So we defined from the weekly chart perspective the range, right, for now. So what's the range for now? To the downside, levels shy below 10,000, right? 10,000, 9,800, okay? And to the upside, levels close to 11,000, 11,200. Now, going even higher, we have few more important levels, and the one of those is the swing high over here, and in that case we are talking about the levels around 12,000, 12,500, right? So taking into the consideration where we are and taking into the consideration extremes, we are trading in the middle of the range, right? So from the medium term perspective, I would say if you are a buyer for now, looking for buy the dip, right? If you are a seller looking to sell the rallies, we are in the middle. It could be that we are going to higher levels to see the higher levels or lowers. Now, if we are going to break one of these, we should get further direction, right? So if we are going to break through 12,000, 12,500, probably you are going to go much higher, and the levels we discussed with the 16, 17,000 possible. If we are going to break through the low, right, it could be very, very dangerous, because we might reopen even levels close to 7,500, 7,000. Okay, so that's how the things looks like when it comes to the weekly on the Bitcoin. On the daily chart, we have to place few more lines, all right? If we are going to consider this as a range, so the things happened here, it was the false break to the upside, right? And then strong move to the downside, okay? That's very important. So in that case, this breakdown over here is quite important. And we are going to place the line over here. And because it's a daily chart, for me it's a green color, right? Represents the daily chart. So we can even try to make it that way. Anyway, So in that case, we have some short-term possible supply around the levels close to 11,600 based on the chart I'm using, right? To the downside, well, to be honest with you, nothing extraordinary at the levels compared to what we discussed based on the weekly. It's this breakout low and been tested quite a few times, as you can see. So that's how I see the things possible. The danger, if we are going to break through this low, we might reopen lower levels, right? Basically, if we are going to take out this particular high, we might retest the 11,000. That's 11,500. That's the short-term picture, in my opinion, when it comes to Bitcoin. So let's switch to the Ether versus US dollar, right? Let's start with the weekly as well. What we have here, it's also quite interesting. Of course, we are going to start to talk with the possible demand weekly. Again, we have to get back to the blue color. So that's broken swing high, right? Which for now, for the last 2 weeks, was working or is working as a possible demand. It's where the buyers trying to step in and keep that level of 320 to hold. But I think, taking into the consideration this price action over here and this latest weakness, I think that if we are going to add 2 additional lines over here like this, right? So we have the zone around 280, and the 280 we were discussing as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see another attempt to go lower with 1, 2, 3. Now, how I see the 1, 2, 3, 1 second, let me show you. All right, we have to add another important line. It's possible finishing the business when it comes to the swing high, all right? Possible swing high. So I think that we might see something like drop. We've seen bounce currently and retest of this 280. Okay, I'm not gonna be surprised if you are going to go through that way. So let's have a look. Something more. If that was the drop, how high we have a space to go before we can reach the zone we're discussing. As you can see, we might retest these levels related to the swing high, right? So the retest of 425, 440, name of the game, and I do expect some bearish activity over here, and I do expect bullish activity around 280, 270 when it comes to the weekly chart. Let's get back and switch lower to the daily. What is going on here? Okay, let's remove the lines. Okay, so what is going on currently? Well, that's from where the market started to rise, right? So that's the latest trend. And as you can see, after the breakdown, we have a problem already here. But still, I would prefer over under and retest of that zone. That's where short term I would think about the possible supply and short position short term, all right, with very tight stop to reach and retest 280, and that would be great possible entry based on this consolidation, which has been, as you can see, this one, which has been broken to the upside and never retested. Okay, great opportunity in my opinion. Of course, do your own research, do your own homework in that case, but that's how I see the things short term when it comes to the crypto. Of course, guys, we have to remember that well, we are looking for the institutional investors when it comes to the crypto. So now we have to have in our mind that the crypto for now may not work opposite way to the overall market sentiment. So if we are going to have a risk off, right, we might see risk off on the crypto as well. I think it's gonna take some time before we are going to, you know, switch that if there is a overall risk of market sentiment, then we are treating crypto as a safety assets. It's gonna take some time still, in my opinion. Okay, with that being said, guys, fingers crossed. Do your own research, always do your own homework, work with your exposure, don't be trapped. Have a great rest of the Sunday. Take care, goodbye, see you around.